Welcome back to Brushstrokes of Being, episode 114, Letters from the Studio. And these are not literally letters, but notes, thoughts, decisions, and ideas that arise while I'm painting. The first layer was put down. I came into my studio and heard myself saying, "What can I say other than that I deeply feel what you have painted and see where you're going?" Not all is yet, and maybe will ever be, graspable or even sayable. Not every brushstrokes can be covered by a word or a sentence. Isn't that the beauty of art? The quiet mystery of a portrait that expresses music without a single audible note. Everything begins with listening. Listening to melody, the rhythm, the breath, observing the pace, the arc of movement, the almost imperceptible pauses that reveal the soul behind the bow. When you give the subject enough time, the music begins to rise from the stillness. You start to hear what you only see. The decision I made is deeply felt. This painting of Sol Gabetta carries her understanding of the music she inhabits, not showy but assured, not loud but luminous. The instrument remains the axis, the voice. The portrait grows around it, guided by gestures, strokes, and that faint shimmer of recognition that connects viewer and musician. And this is where I find myself approaching the invisible. Because what I paint is never service alone. I paint with a sensibility shaped by 400 years of mastership. A lineage of artists who learn to perceive the world through layers of time, silence, and careful attention. Their hands guide mine. Their way of seeing has become my way of listening. Through them, I've learned that the true subject of a portrait is not the likeness, but the life beneath it. The breath before the note, the thought before the gesture, the emotion before it becomes visible. When I speak of painting the invisible visible, I mean this: allowing what is felt but unsaid to slowly emerge in oil, letting time gather in the work, trusting the old knowledge that moves quietly through the brush. Every time I return to the studio, I stand before the painting and let it speak first. Perfection is not the goal, presence is. Preparing my palette, placing the next stroke, watching it breathe into the whole. These are the moments when time dissolves. Listening to her playing while painting creates a resonance that feels almost like collaboration. Some will say, but that's just a photo. But it isn't. A reference is only a spark. What matters are the sketches that catch a fleeting gesture, the hours of looking, the listening to Saint-Saëns, Elgar, Shostakovich, each so exquisitely interpreted by her. That is the heart of this series, allowing people to both see and hear these exceptional female musicians, to feel the art within the art, to feel a deep emotion. People sometimes ask if I also trace or copy. I don't. The image is sketched by hand onto the canvas, sometimes with chalk, sometimes directly with a brush, searching for shapes, values and rhythm. Sometimes I sketch in a sketchbook first when something needs studying, but always observing is the guided thread. It is the one discipline that stays faithful over centuries. And perhaps that is why so many artists struggle with flatness or lifelessness in their work. The eye has to learn to see before the hand can learn to paint. And that is why I created Mastering Light and Shadow, a small, focused course for anyone who wants to understand how form truly emerges. It's built from the same principles that guide my own process: depth, attention, and the quiet art of noticing. If your drawings or paintings feel flat, this might give you the tool to let them breathe.